To do a quick Wuhan coronavirus update, there are currently, it's day 29 according to the ncov.io, and on day 29 there were 34,992 infected and 725 dead. Okay, that's the official numbers. There are some questions whether the official numbers are being manipulated. I think they are. I think there's a terminal velocity of patients they can treat or test, and I think that if people die of pneumonia, they're saying that's not a coronavirus death, that's a pneumonia death. And I'll show you why I think that. There's evidence in the CP24 article I'm going to read for you in a few minutes. But first, I wanted to show you the Ontario numbers and point out something that I think is strange. I think that it's odd that it only gets updated every weekday. Are the people who are tracking this not working weekends? Do they think this is not important enough to update every day? I don't understand why they think weekdays at 10:30 is sufficient. I'm not sure who to contact at this point in time, but if you know, please put it in the comments and I will sticky the comment. It would be good to tell them we'd like daily updates. Thanks a lot. Based on what we're seeing, I think this looks very serious. Now, I was going to go get a bunch of articles reporting around the virus, and I'm gonna show you an example of that, but that was going to be my whole video. I was going to show you how they're not really reporting on the virus, but it's kind of changed in the last 24 hours. I've seen a bit more hard news. Like I was saying, this one, this is from CP24, and this is actually an article talking about the virus in terms that I would deem approaching real news, which is interesting. I hadn't seen that recently. But here's a concerning aspect. Here's the Chief Public Health Officer of Canada, and she has been very late in sharing some very important information. How late? Well, they knew in January 26th, it was being reported. So here's the NBC News article, January 26, 2020, and it says, talking about Chinese officials warning Sunday that the deadly new coronavirus is likely to spread as the United States prepares to evacuate diplomatic officials stationed in the city of Wuhan, where it's believed to originated. Ma Ixawi, and I'm sorry if I've slaughtered that name, I apologize, Minister of China's National Health Commission, or NHC, said at a news conference that the incubation period for the coronavirus, the period between exposure and the appearance of first symptoms, can range from 1 to 14 days, and that it is infectious during this time. So that's saying that the virus can be spread without symptoms, right? You can be spreading the virus and not display outward symptoms, and that's concerning. That means this can spread very rapidly and nobody would know for another 2 weeks. You understand how that would be concerning, right? Okay, so here's Dr. Tam, and this is February 7th, and she says, some evidence suggests the 2019 coronavirus may spread to others even when symptoms are very early or the illness is mild. Maintaining hand washing and coughing etiquette is key to preventing disease. Now, I think it's bearing the lead. It is very, very important to understand what's going on, right? 2 of 3. If symptoms occur within 14 days of arriving in Canada, affected areas, arriving in Canada, I think it means from affected areas, Hubei province and mainland China, call ahead to your local health provider so precautions are put in place to prevent spread of the coronavirus. Don't forget to tell your healthcare provider about your symptoms and travel history to Hubei province, China. Together we can outsmart epidemics, prevent spread of the coronavirus. More info. So, weird, right? If we knew this, and this is what the China's National Health Commission was saying, why is our National Health Commissioner, why is she late, right? Public Health Officer, why is she not telling everyone? Be very cautious. And why is she not telling them on the same day that China's public health is confirming this? Here is an example of reporting around the virus, right? CTV News is reporting how a Canadian company spotted the coronavirus outbreak before health officials. This doesn't give any new information or do anything other than talk about the coronavirus in a useless way. It's not helping. It's just getting clicks. It's very savvy from a media company point of view, because you can write a whole bunch about nothing, right? It's like watching the banter between the hosts before the president comes out to speak, or when they're trying to fill airtime. It's fluff. It means nothing. Here's another one. Well, not reporting around the virus, but CBC News, it says Canada asks travelers from Chinese province hit by coronavirus to go into voluntary isolation. Please just stay at home, and then when you go to any restaurants or Walmart or anything like that and you're spreading the virus around, I don't understand how they think this is going to work, like self-isolation, because you have to go shop. Like, even if you want to stay home, there are things you have to interact with other people for, unless the people are leaving it on a doorstep and then you're taking it into the house. But I'm not sure most people have infrastructure for that. And I know they're talking about providing that in BC, but again, it doesn't scale well, right? It just doesn't scale well. So what are you going to do? Here's an almost real news article from CP24, posted February 7th at 7:55 p.m. So that's last night. It's February 8th right now, and I do my show in the morning, so 9:07 a.m. So here we go. CP24 reporting anger and virus cases grow in China with 722 total dead. I'm going to just start in the middle here. Japan's foreign ministry said a Japanese being treated in Wuhan had died of pneumonia and also was likely infected with the virus. This is the example that I was talking about. This is an example of the person being classified as they died of pneumonia, likely infected with the virus, wasn't tested. You see? This is, and I don't know if this is the reporter confirming this or if this is words from Japan's foreign ministry directly. I'm not sure. But to me, if the cause of death is pneumonia and not, and they say likely infected with the virus, but we don't know because we didn't test. That is at least massaging the numbers through, this person died of heart failure. Why did the heart fail? Well, the virus, but it was heart failure that killed him. Put heart failure. You see? So, slippery slope. This is, to me, evidence of at least a little bit of that taking place. Probably more. Back to the article. Cruise ship passengers faced more woe as Japan reported 3 more cases for a total of 64 on one quarantine vessel and turned away another. President Xi Jinping spoke with President Donald Trump on Friday and urged the U.S. to, quote, respond reasonably to the outbreak, echoing complaints that some countries are overreacting by restricting Chinese travelers. Following an online uproar over the government's treatment of Dr. Li Wenlang, the Communist Party struck a conciliatory note, saying it's sending a team to, quote, fully investigate relevant issues raised by the public. That's conciliatory? Like, okay, you guys have a point. We're going to investigate that. So you won. Okay. Right, sure. Except that the doctor died. Back to the article. Li, a 34-year-old ophthalmologist, contracted the virus while treating patients, and his death was confirmed early Friday. Li, one of 8 medical professionals in Wuhan who tried to warn colleagues and others when the government did not, has said the police forced him to sign a statement admitting he spread falsehoods. Even the staunchy pro-government Global Times newspaper said the treatment of Li and other whistleblowers was evidence of local authorities' incompetence to tackle a contagious and deadly virus. The episode has raised long-standing complaints that party officials lie about or cover up disease outbreaks, chemical spills, dangerous consumer products, or financial frauds. Chinese citizens can be jailed on charges of rumor mongering or making trouble. Can you wait until those laws are passed here? I think that with Trudeau's current overreach with the press needing a license, I don't think it's a stretch to imagine. Anyway, I scroll down. Hong Kong began enforcing a 14-day quarantine for arrivals from mainland China Saturday. If you sign this form, you will need to stay at home. They also warned me that I can't go out. I must stay at home for 14 days, said Jennifer Chung, who arrived at Hong Kong Seaport from Henan. Hong Kong has refused to completely seal its border, but hopes the quarantine will dissuade travelers from the mainland. The U.S. announced later Friday that it's preparing to spend up to $100 million to help China and other countries fight the outbreak. The government also said it helped with the effort to deliver nearly 18 tons of medical supplies donated to the Chinese by the American people, including masks, gowns, gauze, and respirators. And isn't that interesting? Hong Kong is enforcing a 14-day quarantine, and flights are landing in Toronto today from Beijing. Isn't that weird? Doesn't that seem strange? Other countries are enforcing 14-day quarantines, and Canada is asking people to, if you've been traveling, go into voluntary isolation, please. It seems like not a big enough response for what the actions of the government in China are, what they're doing. And I often point out that sometimes actions matter a lot more than words. And I think in this case, the actions of disinfecting a street with aerosol spray and quarantining more than the population of Canada, I think those actions speak louder than our government's reaction. I think it requires more, but that's maybe just me. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out CanadaPoly.com, CanadaReport.co, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And wash your hands. Wash your hands. Seriously.